Good afternoon. I did something different today. Instead of immediately recording once I got out here, I did some hunting first. And then I decided once it got close to the time for me to leave, I would do a little video. Because the first time I was out here turkey hunting, I was saying I was going to do a little review on my shotgun. Not that I think reviews are useful. It's more just me, like kind of like a show and tell. Just I gotta unload it for the rules and regulations and crap. But this is, ooh, let me flip this around. I got it folded down right now. Charles Daly, made by Chippa Firearms. So this is crazy cheap. So I don't know if you've heard me mention it in any other video, but I'm gonna mention it again now. I hate gun elitism. I think it's silly. I think elitism, a lot of things is silly. Like there's the just having fun and teasing your buddies because they use different gear than you, but then there's just like they're just tools. And I did a little bit of talking about how fitness doesn't have to be expensive, and I want to do some talking about how like you don't have, like, especially with prepping, you don't have to spend a lot of money. You just have to be smart. And so this gun is in Canada. It cost me around 150 bucks. It's just a single shot break action, but it's worked for me duck hunting. I'm being so loud right now. This is ridiculous. It's working for me turkey hunting. I shot a couple practice shots when the season first started. It's 12 gauge, jammered in 3-inch shells. I mean, made in Turkey. What? That's funny. No, I knew that these were Turkish shotguns. And see, a lot of people crap on the Turkish shotguns in Canada for some reason. I've never owned any of their semi-automatic ones, but I've only really, actually, I haven't even owned one of their pump, but I'm looking at some of their pump shotguns. I want to get into those too. But yeah, for 150 bucks, you can't go wrong with this little thing. Like, look how this I got, like, it's got a long barrel, obviously, and I got the full choke on it because it's turkey hunting season. Look, I can just fold it up. Crazy loud when I do that. Yeah, hunting doesn't have to be expensive. Especially like those guys with all the freaking camo and the face paint. And I mean, that's all fine if that's what you do. But you know what my grandfather hunted in, and he was very successful? Red flannel and orange hats. Like, my dad hunted in that. Now, I will admit, I do buy a lot of camo. Well, I did. Running my own business, I have ups and downs. So right now it's budget hunting season. So I wanted to talk about that with some people and talk about budget prepping too. Because, you know, preppers become all different shapes and sizes and walks of life and stuff. And some people can afford the $5,000 solar setup, and you know, some people have to get like the Dollarama in Canada. I keep talking about it. It's got some pretty good stuff. You gotta look and you gotta test the stuff. But yeah, I started prepping. It's funny because I started prepping years ago, and like I said, with starting a business and different jobs and stuff, like I have my ups and downs. So you can see in my prepping stash of food, when there was a low, there's a lot of like no-name canned foods and bags of rice, and then there's a high. You got the what is it? Peak refuel, and don't buy ready hour or ready wise. Like, you know what? Buy whatever you want. My personal opinion. I was looking at because I'm getting into more health stuff now too. It's like, I know you need the preservatives in there because these things need to last 30 something years, but you can get a lot of healthier freeze-dried foods and stuff that tastes better too. Like, you're not going to be picky if you're starving, but that's how I've used some of them. Like, well, you know what? I'm going to save these for when I'm starving to death because then they'll taste good. I'm not going to go into too much detail in a ruck march rant kind of video or a hunting rant because I'm not really moving. I can call this a ruck march rant because I rucked out here. I'm going to ruck back and I'm ranting. So, but I want to do, like, maybe on the Off Grid Your Mind podcast, I'll get into more like prepping on a budget, and not just with food, with gear, hunting. You don't have to go all crazy with the gear. I do have like a Remington, what is it? The big famous Remington hunting shotgun. Oh, I can't think of the name right now, but I have Mossberg 500, like a mid-range one. And then I got this, and I just use this because I live in Canada, and our gun laws and everything going on right now is kind of sketchy. I think, don't quote me on this, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that if I get stopped, they see that my guns, they can take them without cause, and then I have to fight to get them back. Now, I'm not 100% sure on that, but it wouldn't surprise me in the least if that was true. And part of me is like, I'm using this cheap shotgun because I don't want to go through all the hell to get it back, but at the same time I would go through it just to stick it to them, like, no, you're not touching my stuff. That's another one. So like the Ruck March rants, I don't go into things too much. I will once I can, like, I'm almost to the level where I can live stream, and like then I'll start having some back and forth with people. But the Ruck March ranches and Ruck March rants, I am just going to talk and briefly touch on things, and then go dive in deeper on dedicated videos for those topics. So the last 3 hunting Ruck March rants. Why is that so hard? It's not like a tongue twister. The last 3, I talked about exercising your no muscle and what that means and how many different ways we can do that. Talked about the gun confiscation looming in the background with Canadians and just our gun laws in general. And then now prepping, hunting, preparing, like all the survival, bushcraft stuff, gear review, like not so much reviews. Reviews are useless, but like saying what I use and how, like, the cheaper stuff, like this pack, I've been using it consistently now. It's not one of those packs that you see advertised like with the poor English. It's like, this bag work for you, this bag no rip, kind of like. It's not that level of Chinese, but it's definitely Western supplies sent to China, put together in China, then sent back to the West and marketed as like, oh yeah, we made it here. Because this only cost me, it was a cheaper bag, I can't remember what it cost, I have to go back and look, but it works. And as much as I don't want to buy from or support any of that whole system that takes supplies from Canada, sends it to China, they manufacture something and they ship it back here, I don't like that. But sometimes you don't have a choice, and I needed a new bag. And I know there's people out there that are curious and want to get into ruck marches or just hunting, camping, survival stuff, like that can't buy all the fancy gear, and you don't even need to. But yeah, like I think right now the gear I got on me right now, like between, I don't know what's in the bag right now, I gotta go through it, but with the gun and the bag, I've only spent like $300. So it doesn't have to be expensive. And like I said, like this green t-shirt, green pants from Walmart, like you don't need the crazy Cabela's. Cabela's is just so overpriced. I can't remember what, like the 511 tactical pants and the Digicam shirts and all that other crap. That's, like I said, Grandpa hunted in red flannel and an orange hat. But yeah, I'm just gonna touch on those things, and then I gotta start working on setting some days for some. See, the podcast keeps getting moved. It's hard now with Vitaly and me scheduling set days. So maybe I've talked to him about it, and maybe I'll just have like a podcast day where it's just me, and I'll go into these topics more, like prepping on a budget, budget gear, repair. Like for me, one of the biggest ways I've been saving money is repairing stuff. Because like if you're using something for, even if it's good quality, 5, 6, 7 years, it starts to wear out and you got to start repairing. And part of me prepping isn't just buy a bunch of crap and lock it up in a bunker. Prepping to a lot of people is learning the skills. If you're not learning the skills, and let me move this out of the sun, you're doing it wrong. You're gonna die with a bunch of expensive fancy crap in your pantry. You gotta prep your body, prep your mind, learn the skills, And one of the most important ones is, you know, how are you going to repair clothes? Because you're not going to be able to buy clothes. And these are hypothetical scenarios. I know to most people, everything's going around fine right now. Everyone's got the head in the sand, the blinders on, nothing's going on. You know, we're not, Canada's not increasing its efforts, like war efforts, and Canada's not, like, the amount of propaganda to get people to join the military is insane right now. And then the poking at China and the acting tough with Russia, none of that's going on. You know, major banks aren't collapsing every week. I don't know. What was that? What was I saying? Yeah, so like, I know there's not hogs out here, but I swear that sounded like a hog. But I need to go further west for that. Like, it's not like I'm saying it's the end of the world, but you know, countries go through hard times no matter where you are in the world. Just because it's been like 100 years since the last time. Yeah, like, the housing crisis didn't hit us that hard in 2008. It's been a long time since all of Canada, from end to end, from the Atlantic to the Pacific, like, really had a hard time. So there's people alive today that have never experienced it, and all the people that experienced like the Second World War, or even the Depression, I don't think many people are left. There's not a lot of people alive that remember a lot of this stuff, so it's like out of memory. It feels like not possible, not real. Like, things have been too good for too long. And then you add the fact that news just kind of brushes over and censors what's really going on. But yeah, I didn't want to be a prepping channel, but I think I don't care. I'm going to talk about everything. I like to talk about everything. But I think in the next little while I'm going to start focusing on that, especially budget stuff. Because you don't, like I said, I keep saying it, I'll keep repeating it, you don't have to spend a lot of money to be prepared. Most importantly, like my other video, I said fitness is free, push-ups are free, squats are free. I built a bench for myself for squats and bench press with $3 2x4s. Like, if there's things I wanted and needed lately that I'm like, you know what, I can just do it with 2x4. I know that requires skills and tools and stuff, but like, even if you're good at something, maybe you can exchange value with value for somebody you know that's a carpenter, knows how to do that stuff. You buy the material, they put it together for you, and like, you're good at gardening. Or maybe carpentry isn't even something you can learn. Physically, you can't do it. So you learn something to help that carpenter. Like, you learn how to sew or something you can do physically. And like, hey, Mr. Carpenter, you need something repaired for cheap. And like, this can be, I'm talking about, this can be used now, but especially like in some kind of crap hits the fan scenario. I keep pausing because I keep hearing a bunch of sounds, and like, I'm excited to go back to hunting. So it's been 13 minutes. I'm going to end it here. If you're interested in hearing any, like, me elaborate on any of this stuff, check out my podcast, Off Grid Your Mind. This is Off Grid Your Life. Off Grid Your Mind with Vitaly and me. And yeah, I'm going to start diving into these more. Comment anything you want to hear about, any questions, because I've got tons of hunting, survival, camping, prepping knowledge that I want to share with people, especially now. My channel is kind of like the beginner. Like, if you're just curious and want to figure it out, check out my channel. But if you're kind of like a mid or advanced tier prepper, I'd recommend the Prepper Classroom with Bear Independent. Anything from Bear Independent or Refuge Medical. That's some advanced stuff. I'm for getting your feet wet and then eventually go to there. But yeah, in the meantime, everyone, have a good day. God bless.